How are you?
Hello. Good, good, good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good, good. So
Hi,
what brings us
Nani.
here? Hashtag I won't be deleted.
Okay.
Uh,
What
s-
is it about? A hashtag I
yeah,
won't be deleted? Okay.
yes. Hashtag I
Interesting.
won't be deleted. And so why are we engaging with this? Uh, Siddhanshu, you go.
Mm, well, whenever we hear about something like deleted, it's we associate delete with computer, like control alt delete. So, and now you're talking about I won't be deleted hashtag. So that gives me an idea that we are probably going to talk about social media trolling or maybe cyberbullying, perhaps. And I guess, like me, many others would have probably gone through it. So I think it's time that we talk about it. It's time we raise awareness about it.
Sushmita?
Yeah, I'm a finalist of Hotmon Mrs. India Worldwide, and we have a task this week to raise awareness about hashtag I won't be deleted. So that is one of the reason I'm engaging in this topic.
Oh, that's
Congratulations on being a finalist.
congratulations. Yes, congratulations.
Yes.
So what are your first thoughts when you hear hashtag I won't be deleted?
So okay, I'll go first with this. Like I was saying, I won't be deleted, and it's about social media trolling, cyberbullying. We all have come across incidences where we might have posted something that we like, or we have commented on something that we like, and then there is all of a sudden there is somebody who questions it and questions it in a very embarrassing or in a very denigrated way, which makes you think, which makes you feel like, oh my god, why did I even put it out there? And makes you feel like I really wish I could, roll back the time and, remove that particular thing. And speaking of removing that, probably many people would, I mean, people have gone to different lengths and extents where, this trolling and this bullying has taken a serious shape. And for that matter, that gives me that at least that reminds me about something called as digital seppuku, where people seppuku is a Japanese term, by the way, for ritualistic suicide, and people who want to get away from social media or who have been subjected to such things and they want to get away from social media altogether, they kind of probably give money to an ethical hacker or somebody like that sort, and they ask them to remove their entire social media presence, whether Instagram, Facebook, whatever you call it. So that's what I think
That's
it's all about.
interesting. That's really interesting. Sushmita, your thoughts?
Yeah, so what I feel about I won't be deleted is like bullying people, and when people goes into depression and they have a lot of anxiety, they isolate themselves from the society, from social media, and that sometimes also gets to suicidal tendencies and all that. So it's kind of a big social cause which has to be taken care of with this awareness.
So have you two ever faced or been pushed to really delete or think of deleting have you been pushed to that extent where you have thought of deleting your profile?
For me, to be honest, I've not faced that extent bullying. Uh, so I didn't get to do that, but I've seen friends and family who has faced that. Just now before this session, I saw one of the respected teachers. She has two hack profiles, and she's raising awareness. Please don't vote. They are asking to vote, and the moment you vote, the hackers are hacking your profile. That is something I heard from our competitors also. Like one competitor's profile was hacked. They asked to vote, and that is one of the reasons I think we should raise awareness. Voting is something people hackers are coming and hacking the profiles. So there are different kinds of things like that, and also bullying comments and all that. I've seen, heard. Yeah, but
Okay.
that's
And Sitangshu?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, many a times, I, just like everyone else, I do have a social media presence on this Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth. So this one time, I had there was a social cause, or there was a social issue, and so I had posted something. I just gave my point of view or my 2 cents, and this other chap, uh, he was trolling this particular person, and just because I supported that person's point of view, or I gave my 2 cents, that person started trolling me about how I look. He visited my all my Facebook profile, Instagram profile. He even visited all the people who were tagged in pictures. So that was scary, where somebody who is just sitting behind another screen can have such an effect, and he's trying to reach out to my near and dear ones and friends. So that is something not acceptable.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
finally, I had to, um, that was the first time I actually started locking my profile, just to compartmentalize or stop spreading any sort of personal information which might be there about me.
Yes. So, what is the meanest comment that you have, both of you, you have received? And is it something that you would like to share with us?
I can go on it first. So few months back, I've joined one of the big five banks in Canada. I joined as a risk analyst. So this this person, he was in my college. So I posted that, okay, you know what, guys, hey, I'm happy to inform that I've joined as a risk analyst. So his comment was, uh, are you there to analyze the risk, or are you there to are you the risk to the bank? So had it been a one-on-one thing, I would have probably like taken it in a, with a pinch of salt. But then you're putting it out there for thousands of people to see, and with potential recruiters. Probably it is just a, it's a light-hearted joke, but then you got to be careful where you are putting things. So yeah, I think that was very mean of him to say that.
Sushmita, anything that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, so social media I've not faced anything, but I do recall something very funny. I would say weird or meanest comment also you can say, long back in the society. That time my husband was staying outside the city. I was alone in my apartment, and you know me, I mix up with all the younger people. I really have friends of my age. That time also it was same. I was working, and teenagers, all the teenagers were my friends. So we used to go out in the evening. They had a group. I was like the didi among them, the elder sister kind of thing, and I used to go out, chat with them, and then come back home in the community itself, within our community. So that day, for some reason, others were all busy. They were a group of 10, 15 people, 10, 15 teenagers. So one guy was there, and I don't know, somehow somebody noticed, and one of the other ladies, she told me that, you know what, somebody was telling you are having an affair with that guy. You have been spotted under the tree, sitting with him, chatting with him. I'm like, what is? So I told that guy, like, he used to see me as an elder sister. I also used to see him as a like younger brother. All were my, as you can understand, they are teenagers, almost 10 years younger than me, everyone. So and he was laughing, he was actually enjoying that comment. But I'm like, what is this? So these are some kind of things, weird things people can think, talk about you, which sometimes create a lot of stress and anxiety. I ignored it, but yeah, this is something I didn't knew who told that, else I would have also engaged into some kind of different conversation.
Hmm.
Okay. So, yes, now, Sitangshu, your turn.
Hmm. Okay. So I have two interesting questions for you two
Okay.
ladies. Okay. So, trying to take the topic towards a very serious direction here. So, what do you think? What are the effects or psychological effects of, say, cyberbullying? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, they're massive. According to me, they're massive,
Okay.
and uh, this is a topic in itself, I feel.
Okay.
Uh, and
Indeed.
this would require a lot of time. But in a nutshell, I would say that, there's this just one interview that I heard of Janvi Kapoor. She's a
Okay.
Bollywood star,
Great. Great.
Hindi movie star, and she was talking about trolling and how massive that trolling was, and how it affected her confidence, and how it affected her ability, to kind of work and find pleasure in that work, and how
Wow.
she was told repeatedly by the trollers that she is good for nothing and she doesn't have the talent, and she's a nepo kid, nepotism, and she's a nepo kid, so therefore, she doesn't deserve the place that she's in, and she's not good enough, and how she was talking about it and saying that, for the longest time I thought that I don't deserve it, and I'm not good enough, and that kind of hampered my way of thinking, my confidence, and I couldn't pump myself up for anything, because I always thought that I'm being judged, and perhaps, they are right, and it took her many many years uh, to be at peace with what she's got, and the talent she has, and the movie she's doing, and it took her quite a few years to be at peace with all of this, together. So I think, yeah, if this is the kind of impression, or if this is the kind of effect it can have on somebody who comes from that strata of the society, who's used to that kind of accolades, who's had that kind of cushioning, yeah, exposure and cushioning, if this can, mess up their mind, imagine people who are, perhaps perhaps without that support, without those yes men, what kind of effect that has on people like, me or you, and or any one of us, sitting in our room and knowing that we're not good enough, or we don't deserve it, or we're rubbish, or what we say is irrelevant. So yeah, I think it has a massive psychological effect,
What about you, Sushmita? What do you think on effects? Do you agree with Indrani, or like you have a different thought process on that?
No, I think I totally agree with Indrani. What she
Okay.
said, it has a big psychological impact. And
Right.
while she was talking, I was just thinking that nowadays, I think a lot of people follow spirituality, meditation, and stuff like that. I think that is one of the solutions. Sorry, I may be going to a different topic, but that is something I think people can think of, because else they will go into depression, anxiety, and maybe even there has been instances where we have heard that, I don't have the examples handy, but I've heard about people doing suicide due to cyberbullying. There are instances. So really, to stop that, I think that is one of the ways we should raise awareness so that people can do something like that.
Talking about suicide, my thoughts are, whenever all of these things happen, a very common phenomenon is something like, you're angry, you feel victimized, you feel humiliated.
That is what
And
bullying is about, right? They
exactly,
they make
exactly.
you feel victimized, they make you feel like what you just said, right?
And not only that, and when people they do not get the support, or let us just say the person who is bullying, he gets all the support and he gets all the accolades, the victim goes through an isolation period. And
Right.
it can also, I mean, at least I've seen this in kids. And schools in US, I think they are one of the greatest examples where we see school shootings where kids are carrying, rifles and guns. Why? Because somebody had bullied them and they just found out an easy way to vent out, and they went out looking for revenge. So, I mean, I think it has, cascading effect into all of this. Okay, so my next question. Okay, so we have all talked about that. What is cyberbullying? So now, when should an online teasing, embarrassment, or a conflict be considered as cyberbullying? And what are those criteria that it should meet? That like this is just a joke, and this is like a dead right cyberbullying. What are your thoughts on that?
Should I go first?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Um, I think you need to decide that as the
Okay.
receiver, you know. But however, I would say that there are clear guidelines.
Hmm.
Just as any kind of threat of violence, any kind of uh, pornography, especially child pornography and all of that, uh, mm, and stalking. Um, I think these kind of guidelines are already there, on the internet, and one knows that this can be reported. So you obviously have to go through the guidelines, and that those guidelines will differ from each state, from each country, and they differ with each country and each state and all of that. So you need to know what are the guidelines. However, what you can do is, what is your threshold, how much can you take, and if you think that this is not uh, something that you would accept, you have to report it right away. First, you have ways to ignore that person who is trying to bully you. First is blocking, then reporting the service providers. You can definitely report it to the service providers. You can definitely reach out to the social media handles, and report that particular ID. And then, of course, there are state laws. There are law enforcement agencies that look into it, and some of them, and of course that would differ, but a lot of these cyberbullying are criminal offenses. so yeah, so one needs to know that what falls under criminal offense. One needs to like go through the like guidelines, and act accordingly.
So basically, having that awareness of what constitutes, and having that understanding of that threshold.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to just go through the guidelines and know what are your rights, and
Interesting.
how you can kind of take it up. But
Cool.
there are some things
Okay.
that you are obviously armed with, and those are that you can block the person right away. You can definitely call the service provider, and and report against that particular ID. You can definitely reach out to, whether it's Twitter or whether it's Insta, whether it's Facebook. You can definitely report these IDs. So of course, these are things that you can do from your end, and then thereafter there are other laws. Sitanshu, we can't hear you.
Sorry, my bad. I was speaking myself. My bad. So Sushmita, where do you think the threshold is? Where do you think it stops, or rather starts, in case of cyberbullying?
So I would go, I think Indrani covered most of it. So I would go with one of the things that recently happened to me as
Okay.
a finalist, like my with my profile, and it's happening with a lot other profiles I heard from the group that we have in
Mhm.
WhatsApp for all our contestants. So there was one lady who reached out to me that I'll be paying you if you are posting our products in your page, right? So
Okay.
I'll be paying you daily something like 2000 rupees and all that. So then I said, okay, well, what kind of products? Like beauty products, like, as you know, normal beauty products.
Right.
So what do I need to do for that? Then she said, like, speaking as if a very general, normal person, like, good way to speak, actually. I would say you'll not understand that that person is a hacker. So after that, and then she said at the end, go to your profile, edit profile, and change the email ID. I said, what? Like, you're going to hack my profile? I directly said that. And and then like she was, no, our company doesn't have time to do that. You just change it and then change it back to your own ID. And then by mistake, I think I saw one of our contestants putting their products in her page. So that was my mistake, which I saw wrongly. So I thought to call that contestant and understand what's going on. So if this is the process, I'm new to Insta. So I called her. Probably it was 5 a.m. in the morning for her, and this lady was pushing. You just have 30 minutes to do that. I'm like, okay, let me try. I did that once. I really did that once. And then I saw right away, change your password, update, like reset your password and things like that. So I was clear. Like I knew that that's going to happen, but I just wanted to try and see what's going on. So, and then right away I
Change, aren't
changed.
we?
It's scary. It's scary.
Yeah, it is
So
scary.
right away, it's very scary. Right away, it changed and got back my ID, email, everything. But it's been 2-3 weeks. But the fact is that, and I reported too. As Indrani said, I reported right away. But unfortunately, what I missed is I didn't take any screenshot and I was not aware. Right away, the profile was gone. It's invisible. None of the messages, nothing I could see which I could even post or share or do something about it to raise awareness. I couldn't find anything of that. So it was just vanished.
Wow.
So yeah, this is one of the
Well,
time.
well, I can just only say that I hope that was like almost on the edge thing that
On
happened,
the edge.
and
Yes.
and you were just inches away from something called as social engineering in
Right,
the world of cybersecurity. It is called social engineering method of
right,
hacking. So
right. And the worst part was that we went to a friend's house and they were trying to play some game. And I love playing games and stuff, like beat cards or anything. And I was not focusing. I was constantly in my phone. They have not seen me like that. So what's going on? They were thinking like, and I was like totally lost into that because it was something very different and scary. So yeah.
interesting, interesting. You know, I'll just tie up what you both said, because like both of you have covered it immensely. So it is pretty much where it starts, where something is being very done repetitively. Like this person was kind of harassing you, like, just change the profile. And not only that, this person was cyber stalking you, has
Right,
definitely targeted you.
right,
And so anything, where there is, say, a repeated pattern, whether it is someone telling you that, not you per se, but yeah, it's telling another person that you are bad, you are fat, you are, or any sort of shaming which is happening, and it is happening on a repeated scale, whether it is in person or online. It is, well, if it is, definitely it's online, that's, I would definitely call it a cyberbullying, 100% for sure. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Shmita, you can go ahead now. The session is just getting more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, like whoever wants to go first, I'll go with
Okay.
my first question. So,
Hmm.
can you please talk about any horrible cyberbullying experience that may have created terror in the society?
Indrani, you want to go
Anyone?
on it first?
Um, um, on the top of my head, there is nothing that I can think of, but yes, um, I think very recently a lot of schools in Mississauga and Brampton um, got threat calls, and they also they I don't know, it's a conversation they happen to tap where they got to know that there are some people who are trying to target few schools. They're trying to target particular primary schools and some secondary schools, uh, and unleash gun violence or something. So I don't know if this is something that the police has uh, like, have they got the information from one of the conversations on some social media, or um, but I think these kind of conversations uh, can really unsettle a community, a whole lot of people. I mean, whether this was a conversation that came up while some people were engaging on some handle, and therefore, because it is of some violence, it was tapped, and it was splashed all over, and a lot of parents didn't send their children around that same the whole week. So I do not know if this was a conversation that happened on some handle. However, what I'm saying is, it does have that effect, like it can terrorize uh, many people, and yes. So this is from the top of my head, but I can't really recall anything else. Yeah. What about you, Sitanshu?
So, okay. So my instance, which it came from, the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay. So that movie was very intriguing. Sure, it's a horror slash murder movie, but that led me to think about uh, topics where people, or where people they have kind of um, committed suicide because of bullying. And one of that is, which reminds me, is of um, you know uh, is a girl called Haley Lambert. She was 13-year old, and she used to suffer from epilepsy. And because of her condition, her classmates would taunt her. And this in-person bullying, it continued on the online platforms and on other social media forums as well. And they would often tell her that to kill herself because of her condition. And just one day, a classmate of her left a voicemail saying that, I hope you died. And unfortunately, Haley couldn't take it anymore of that bullying, and she killed herself.
Oh my.
So, and again, there are like thousands of incidents where, um, I mean, usually, I mean, I have seen or read all about these. I mean, similarly, another girl was there, another 14-year-old, her classmates would call her all sort of derogatory terms. And on top of that, she had struggled growing up. Her father was jailed. I mean, her father used to hit her and everything. And as and when her classmates learned about it, these same people, rather than supporting her, they used it against her. and again that in-person bullying, and same thing happened online. And one fine day, she hung herself at her school bus stop so that her bullies, would see her body. She left a note saying that, um, and she made sure that people knew who are responsible uh, for this heinous crime.
It breaks my heart to know that, how young impressionable minds can, how it can really affect them.
I
And
mean, this is just like,
and
with
the kind of
teenagers, right?
drastic steps that they can take.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yes, Sushmita, your second question.
Yeah, before I go to the second question, just something came to my mind. We have someone from our community in here. We have participated in the drama group, right? We have participated in drama. There's a lady who is a single mother. Her 10-year-old son, due to bully in the school, he jumped from, you know, I think some floor, I don't know, and he died. That child, and it was a big thing in news, in newspapers and everything. There were a lot of things going around for that particular incident. We do not know what kind of bully that guy faced, but that is something that it just came to my mind. Anyways, yeah. So
it's
sorry,
unfortunate.
it's horrifying. The thing is really horrifying. So my next question is, how do you think we can stop or prevent any kind of cyberbullying?
I don't think we can really stop or prevent, because digital world is public, and you, as somebody who's engaging with the outside world, the digital world, so to say, uh, you are you are aware of these trollers who are there to kind of get you. So if you really want to protect yourself, then you don't put yourself out there. But if you are putting yourself out there, then you have to have a thick skin, you know. And I think ignoring is the best way to kind of go about your business in the digital world, And if it does affect you, and if you are so touchy and sensitive, then I think you need to exercise the blocking, and whoever is not being nice to you, and you think that doesn't deserve a place in your post, or doesn't deserve a place in your on your profile, then you just delete that person, or block that person. So this is something that you need to exercise. Apart from that, I think you need to develop a thick skin.
Interesting.
Thank
So
you.
I'll just add to what you said, Rani. So, um, personally, my strategy has been not to respond immediately, and even if I do respond, I would probably respond it in a very uh, I don't think it's the right word, but then anyways, it's like a neutral way to respond in a neutral way, kind of not acknowledging their presence or whatever it is. And but then yeah, if push comes to shove, I definitely do take screenshots, report it, block it, and there have been instances where I at this one point in time I got so livid. I was like, you know what? If you are really so hung up on what you have to say, why don't man up and come and face me, and then we'll see who lives to see the day. But again, that's again back in the days I was a bit naive about it. But I think one of the best things that has helped me overcome all of this is that I stopped checking my phone altogether. So I think even that has helped. So
So
yeah.
there you go. I think ignoring.
Yeah, I mean, they don't deserve a space in your life for that matter. I mean, give importance to people who deserve, right? So
Yeah,
they don't.
I mean, you can choose to ignore. Yeah,
100%.
this is something that you have. in your
True.
hand, and you can definitely choose to ignore. So we had a wonderful session. I loved this session. The questions were as diverse as it could be, and we kind of covered more or less the whole topic in many different ways. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you two, for this wonderful session.
Thank you
Happy
so
to be
much,
here.
both of you.
Thank you. And all the
Thank,
best, Sushmita, for your upcoming,
yes, all the best.
pageant.
All the best. Hope
Um,
you get the crown.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.